What's up, mighty boys and girls, it's your Ranger Boy here and welcome to a hopefully interesting discussion video. In today's video, I would love to discuss one specific topic. What if May, Dawn and Serena would be trial captains of Alola? Long, what about Misty and Iris? To be honest, I tried to add them into this video as well, but there's a reason I left them out. Mainly because I tried to implement not only the girls' Pokemon, but also their goals and philosophies into their trials as well, so that the challenger can learn a valuable lesson for his or her journey. And both Misty and Iris' goals were really superficial, and on the other hand, May's, Dawn's and Serena's goals are more driven by their backstory and their characterization. Both Misty and Iris also have backstories, which in the end led to their goals. But in my opinion, those backstories and their characterization weren't just enough for me to make a trial for them, because both of their backstories and their characterization didn't really have such a deep meaning, especially compared to the other three. So it's not because of discrimination, but solely because it was just too hard to come up with a trial for Misty and Iris, which also connects with a lesson they learned themselves during the story. Also, big shout out to Keith Montalbo aka Ravenide for letting me use his awesome Pokegirl art. Do me a favor guys, check out both his DeviantArt and his Twitter and show him some love. And with this long introduction out of the way, grab some popcorn, grab some cookies and let's do this. Let's start with May. In my opinion, the best way to start her trial is with some good food. And by that I mean the challenger's trial is to steal away Pokemon food from numerous Pokemon, which leads to them attacking the trainer. And after collecting enough food, the challenger then has to use that food to lure out the totem Pokemon, which would be May's Munchlax. I actually thought about evolving Munchlax into Snorlax, but I decided otherwise because Snorlax doesn't really suit May's contest format. But no matter if Munchlax or Snorlax, their highest stats are obviously HP, attack and special defense. The totem Pokemon aspect will boost her Munchlax defense as well. And not only that, but at the beginning of the trial, Munchlax won't attack at all, it will just act defensive, which automatically means that the challenger will constantly be on the offensive over and over again. And our Hoenn Queen won't change her tactics until the trainer will change his battle style while showing creativity. What does all this has to do with May's past? Let me explain. At the beginning of her journey, May didn't know anything about being a trainer, and therefore had to learn a lot from Ash. But matter of fact is that she learned too much from Ash, to the point where she basically copied a lot of Ash's style. Inconvenient but straightforward and relying on power.
The truth is, May's strategy looks a lot like the strategy you always use, Ash.
Huh?
You love dazzling attacks. So far, Soledad's been winning that way too.
Okay.
May's been watching you battle for a long time now, so you can't blame her for being influenced.
That aspect certainly was clear during the Kanto Grand Festival against Harley, Drew and especially against Soledad, where she relied on straightforward power and was totally off guard when Soledad changed her tactics. Also, while rewatching the episodes, I realized one thing. May copied a lot while adding her own twist to it, but during the end of her journey, she never really invented something unique, but instead of that, ended up copying both Ash and Frontier Brain Tucker, while her rivals created unique styles. So what in my opinion is important for May's trial is to let the challenger realize two things. First, don't rely too much on offensive alone, but show more variety in battle style like Soledad, but also show your own creativity like Drew and Harley. With that out of the way, let's talk about Dawn. During her trial, her Baniri will steal away the trainer's Z-Ring. Afterwards, Baniri will create an icy path with her Ice Beam and runs away, while the protagonist is chasing after Dawn's Pokemon. During that chase, he or she will also encounter numerous Pokemon of Dawn, such as Mamoswine, Togekiss, etc. And before being able to get the Z-Ring back, the final boss will stand between you and Baniri, Piplup. And after encountering very intimidating Pokemon, the challenger will think that Piplup will be a piece of cake and will underestimate Piplup. Of course, Dawn's best buddy will get triggered and turns out to be the totem Pokemon. And because Baniri still has the Z-Ring, the challenger has to rely on his basic trainer skills instead of the Z-move. How is this island trial of mine connected to Dawn? The trial follows a specific theme which has influenced Dawn a lot during her journey. Overconfidence. I can't tell you how many freaking times Dawn was so overly confident in herself and her Pokemon's moves. It's ridiculous. Granted, that attitude is somewhat justified because her mom was also an experienced coordinator, but that attitude was her downfall numerous times. For example, during the half-form contest, Dawn didn't even doubt that she will meet Zoe in the finals, and then reality has caught up and she lost in the performance part. Then during the next contest in Solaceon Town, Dawn again acted overconfident and was so sure that her Ambipom Swift would grant her victory, even though each and every one of her rivals and even the judges realized that Dawn only cared about presenting the move instead of presenting the Pokemon. And then reality check and she lost again. Then thankfully she not only ended up winning the Wallace cup against May, but also she didn't revert it back to being overconfident, but instead of that she matured and was more down to earth, even while losing. And with this trial, Dawn wants to teach the challenger this lesson. Get rid of being overly confident. Don't assume that you already won based on the situation, and don't rely too much on a specific move, aka the Z move, but instead make sure that your Pokemon is the main part of your skills and not the Z move. Best example is Kiava, who relies way too much on his Z-Ring instead of his basic trainer skills, which in the end cost him battles against both Marowak and Brock. Last but certainly not least, Serena. Her trial for the trainer before battling the totem Pokemon is actually really simple. A Pokemon race, which of course is a piece of cake for Serena because she has been training Pokemon racing since childhood. But just like her mom did during their race, Serena will intentionally slow down and let the challenger advance. Why? Because during that race, the challenger will encounter numerous Pokemon who are being bullied by other Pokemon, which leaves the trainer two options. Do I want to finish the race and advance to the totem Pokemon, or do I want to help the Pokemon which gets bullied? What the trial participant doesn't know is that you will fail if you won't stop and help the Pokemon. And if you successfully have figured that out, you will advance against her Sylveon as a totem Pokemon. Why did I do that for Serena? Because during Serena's journey she also had to make several crucial decisions. Do I want to follow my mom's footsteps and become a Pokemon racer, or do I want to do things that are right and which my heart desires? Should I just give up against Aria like people told me to, or do I want to continue on? Should I stay in Kalos and be trained by Palermo, or should I improve beyond the borders of Kalos, even if that means being separated from Ash and her friends? Serena had so many obstacles in her way, and every time she had to make a decision, she acted on what she really thought was right, instead of what people expected her to do, and which was more based on logic. But even though she always acted properly, she pretty much always questioned herself, and therefore was really indecisive, which resulted in her doubting herself a lot, especially in the first half of the XY series, where she wasn't sure what to do and was drowned in self-doubt, which in the end resulted in her having not much confidence, which is the total opposite of Dawn. So Serena's trial has the following message: the challenger should act on what's right instead of only concentrating on finishing the race, which would be the logical thing to do. Also, because it's a race, the trainer has to act quick and has no time for questioning his decision. Don't hesitate and doubt your decision, but instead of that, be 100% sure that you do what you think is right. And with that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this hopefully interesting discussion video. Just like always, see you guys in the comment section down below. Bye guys!